Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday, Tech Tuesday for L&D Talk. My name is Brent Schlenker. I am the Chief Learning Officer for Litmus. At litmus.com/blog is where you will find my ramblings and writings on the L&D industry. And you can also find me at Twitter at bschlenker, or I'm not going to say Snapchat anymore because I just have not been using it. And I need to change my account there, but anyways, there you have it. It's Tech Tuesday. We are talking tech, and we have a couple topics today. We have a full house of L&D professionals hanging out with me today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This is totally fun. And we have in the upper right-hand corner, Mr. Anthony Altieri. Let's hear it for Anthony. Yay. Quick props, everybody. Come on, give him some props. Yeah, I'll give him some props. Oops, I'm propping myself. There we go.
We'll let that one go. This is a family. This is a family blab. I'll let that one go.
This is a family blab. No, it's not. It's an L&D blab. We're all good. And yeah, that was teed up too nicely, Don. So we don't swing at the easy ones. Yes, Anthony is the upper right quadrant of everything, without question. All right, Tech Tuesday, question of the day. What is your current favorite tech for e-learning solutions? Ready, set, go. Put it in the live chat, and while you're putting it into the live chat, Anthony, throw one out there, and I can't hardly wait to hear what it's going to be. I'm on the edge of my seat.
The aluminum bat for Paul. PowerPoint. Oh my God.
That's not tech.
Well, I'll Arduino it up or something.
Arduino, come on.
I'll put a force sensor on it. That'll tech it up for you.
Outstanding.
Actually, I will say I will give PowerPoint props for early developments. Who just mentioned it? It's scrolling past. I think Ajay mentioned it. Don mentioned for storyboards, things like that. Okay, fine. I'll let PowerPoint go. My problem with it, though, is right now there are so many great prototyping tools. Just the one we talked about that somebody brought up, just was it last week? The POP, prototypes on paper. I've been playing around with that. It's awesome. You can draw the picture, take a snappy of it. You can draw your buttons and everything and link everything that way. The reality is now there's just so many fluid so many fluid prototyping tools out there now that PowerPoint's losing its luster even for that.
Yeah. Did somebody throw up the, or maybe Anthony, throw up that link if you can find it real quick to that tool. There was also a tool, Nick Floro put through a tool up the other day in a group chat, and I downloaded it. I think it was Mac only, but I can't remember. Was it Pop App? Was that it? Maybe, I'm not sure, but that was pretty cool too. But I think it was for rapid prototyping of mobile apps, which was pretty cool. I didn't really have an immediate use for it myself, but it looked really cool. I will tell you, I'm on a test program of a tool that's similar to PowerPoint. Now I can't even think of the name of it. I'm going to throw it out there, and then I can't remember the name of it. This is so typical of me.
It happens. We're of that age.
I know. That's my issue is I don't have a cup of coffee sitting next to me right now. What is that thing called? I knew I should have left it in my browser window, but all right, I'll get back to it because we've got a lot of good stuff in here. So we already talked about PowerPoint last week, love it or hate it, but it's still good to talk about it as a design tool, right? I mean, everybody's thrown it out and mentioned it as part of it's part of your toolkit, right? Doesn't everybody? I mean, it's easy. I'll throw a couple things out. The reasons why people were loving it and hating it, maybe just as a recap from last Monday, is everybody uses it. So it's great for storyboarding or the beginning design work, because when you're needing to send it out to to your subject matter experts or your stakeholders, they all have PowerPoint. They all know how to use it. They know how to view it. They know how to navigate through it. They know how, where the notes are. They just know how to use it. So PowerPoint just makes for a great solution in that space.
Well, no, okay, let's back that one up. It makes for a convenient or a ubiquitous solution. That does not make it great. Okay.
Thank you. I stand corrected. It makes it usable.
But I will agree that in that vein that yes, Ajay, everyone should stop hating AA. That's right. You mistyped a comma there. I'm sure you didn't do that. But I will say, PowerPoint at this point, you've got PowerPoint or Keynote to a lesser extent, or I forget OpenOffice. I forget what they call their slide deck program. I mean, between the three, you've got one of them. You have PowerPoint, or you have Keynote, or you have OpenOffice. So in that regard, it's a ubiquitous solution. So it is something that can be fairly easily shared. It is something that everyone has in their tool belt somewhere. So for that, yes, it's.
You'll let it slide. JD, we must be just conversation in the background for you today. I have not seen or heard you pipe in at all, and it's causing me great concern because I see you.
He's multitasking.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's okay. I don't mind lurkers in my blab. Actually, I highly encourage it. Anytime you feel like just hanging out and letting me be your background sound, I'm happy. I'm happy to talk in your ears all day long.
The dulcet sounds.
If I could get the dulcet sounds to work, dang it would be awesome. But it's killing me. I'm going to get the sound effects working soon. I promise. Promise. Okay, so PowerPoint. What else did I miss in the list? Let's see. People said PowerPoint.
Brought up a good point, that I was kind of going at a little bit earlier, that, kind of why that ubiquitous solution is so important is because if you prototype something in PowerPoint, you can send it to somebody and they have, like I said, they can open it. They either have Keynote, they can import it. They have PowerPoint, they can open it direct. They have OpenOffice, they can import it. Whatever. But the reality is now we have enough tools and we have enough versatility that you could do that same thing and throw it up on a website. And then everyone can see it. And okay, yes, there's pluses, minuses to that because you've got control issues, access issues, whatever. But I think there are now more tools out there that allow more affordability, or more affordances, I should say, because they're free. So, affordability is not an issue. There are more affordances, and you can get closer to potential final products a lot faster, a lot easier. So, I think PowerPoint, I think PowerPoint is the leaded gas of L&D. I think it served its purpose. I think it's like Flash was. It served its purpose. It did it very well for a very great number of years. But there are other things now that are coming in that are much more powerful, offer a lot more affordances that, it's time to migrate.
Totally disagree. Shannon, do you want to jump in here? We have a smackdown. We're using PowerPoint in this convo as a design tool, talking about it as underneath our topic of favorite tech for developing e-learning solutions. We're talking about PowerPoint as a good tool for the early stages of e-learning design. And one of those powerful uses is being able to share it with stakeholders, doing mock-ups, yes, and meeting our SMEs and our stakeholders where they're at, and that they already know how to use it. They know when they see a PowerPoint file attachment, they don't freak out. It doesn't ask for a plugin, all that good stuff.
Yeah, Don, and again, Don brings up another good point. You know, and I think Ajay mentioned this earlier too. You know, don't blame the, don't blame the player, blame the game or whatever. You know, you can't blame the tool because the moron wielding it doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And and that's a perfectly valid point.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
So now go ahead and disagree with Anthony.
That is an impressive bookshelf behind you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
It makes for a good podcasting background or video casting background.
It does.
You would immediately look very intellectual just from that. well spotted.
So now you're telling me I need a bookcase. All right,
yeah, yes, you do. You need it. Well, and then on some of my videos, you can see all of my 49er information in the background. And you can see all of my Jeff Gordon paraphernalia and all that other happy stuff. But as far as PowerPoint goes, I really can't add too much to the conversation as far as what has already been in what's already been in the chat. You know, to me, I love PowerPoint. I haven't used Word to create a document in an age. You know, you don't have to you can still manipulate the graphics. You don't have to worry about margins. You don't have to worry about anchoring text or images. Ooh, got a phone call. And I can create some pretty slick things. And I've had a lot of people ask me, how did you create that? Did you create that in Photoshop? No, I created it in PowerPoint. And people are just like blown away by that. So it's all about knowing the tools. If you know your tool inside and out and you know what you can do with it, then it can work for you. It doesn't become this, what analogy did you use? The leaded gas in your car. That's bullshit. You know, it's if you take a tool and you learn how to use it, it can work for you. And PowerPoint is one of those tools that gets a bad rap because garbage in, garbage out. So there you go.
I don't blame it for that. I just think there's better options that are
what? Prezi, Keynote, all of them are abused.
HTML. I mean,
HTML? Seriously, you want me to learn how to write code in order to make
you don't want to start that conversation.
No, I don't. Because that's another thing. I shouldn't have to be able to learn HTML in order to use a tool.
Well, no, but if you want good, here's the thing: if you can only do what the tool allows, then the tool is telling you. The tool is setting the bounds. The tool is telling you what you're allowed to create. I don't ask the tool what I'm allowed to create. I tell it. And if it doesn't do what I need it to, then I go and learn HTML or CSS or whatever, and I can extend the finished product. So that's why I think learning some basic HTML or basic JavaScript is absolutely vital for the long-time success, in this industry.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It just isn't for me. It's not anything that is in my wheelhouse, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with saying that I don't know JavaScript and I don't know HTML. I'm not saying it's not a benefit to some people. It's just not what I do, So I'm not casting shade on it. What I'm just saying is that I know what my gaps and my strengths and weaknesses are as far as tech is concerned. And then what I do is I go find somebody with that strength and help me fill that gap, So I'm sure that the importance of it is critical, and there are plenty of people out there who can help me with that.
But also keep in mind, listen to what just happened. I mentioned HTML and you immediately made the assertion that the only way to create HTML is to learn to code. And that's just not true. There are dozens of tools out there that are drag and drop, WYSIWYG, just like PowerPoint, that you can create HTML, throw these prototypes up, or storyboards or whatever, up on a website somewhere, or you don't even need to. Just put them in a zip file, throw them up somewhere so you can download them and run them locally.
But why?
So let me jump in here. Let me jump in and say, and maybe I'm wrong, but you can actually export PowerPoints as HTML, correct?
Yeah, you can.
I think you can.
Yeah, so if you needed to send what you're doing in HTML format on a browser to somebody, if you've got a website and all that kind of stuff, you can just export it right directly there, and somebody can thumb through what it is they need to look at via a browser instead of actually needing PowerPoint. So in a sense, you can mix the best of both worlds, right? You can do PowerPoint and you can do HTML.
You can.
You know, it's like, I mean, Don mentioned it earlier, you know, about creating storyboards. I do my storyboards in PowerPoint. I don't do my storyboards in Captivate or Articulate or any of those things. I do them in PowerPoint, you know, and then I turn it over to an instructional designer who can then plug and play it for me. You know, so it's just, again, it's about, you know, regardless of the tool that you want to use, be it HTML or JavaScript, PowerPoint, you know, something as low tech as PowerPoint. It's just about understanding its use and being able to put it into the appropriate, purposeful way.
Well, let's go super low tech. I saw Ajay mention whiteboards.
Oh, whiteboards.
Favorite tech for e-learning solutions is our topic. Let's talk whiteboards. I mean, come on, it's like we can call it tech, right?
Electronic whiteboards or regular whiteboards?
I would say regular whiteboards.
Oh yeah. Post-it notes. Oh my God, my life would be senseless without Post-it notes.
I mean, who hasn't gone to a presentation or I should say, I guess, a meeting or something? You know, you put all the notes up on a whiteboard, you take a snappy with it and throw it into a document or whatever, and that's how you share the notes. I mean, I've been in meetings, and I'm not proud of this, by the way, but I've been in meetings where no one took any notes at all. We just wrote everything up on the wall, and then we took snappies of it.
Right.
You know, and you know, to Shannon's point too, we've developed entire courses where all they were was, I don't have one of them here. One of those, was it the field notebooks? Mm-hmm. What I'm talking about? Somebody just took it and drew the storyboards out like a big flip book, and we just flipped, snap, flip, snap, flip, snap, and then we paste them together in, I think we used balsamic. And that's how we prototyped the course. Everything was done the original storyboards were all handwritten in a little notebook.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
So, so we can whiteboard that way. Ajay, did you have any other reasons for throwing up whiteboards, or that's pretty much it? I think for all of us that are here, it's pretty self-explanatory how useful any sort of starting on paper, right? I believe Mr. Thorne, our resident animator, drawer guy, and storyline guru would be the first to say everything starts with pencil and paper.
Well, here's the question. Here is, what's your threshold when you're ready to bring in tech? And to me, my threshold is when I have to share it.
Okay, yeah, that's a great point. So, how about for you, Anthony? Are you always using tech?
I think it depends on the audience at that particular level, and also I'm gonna waffle a little on the use of the word tech, because I think if I'm just taking snappies, of Post-it notes, whatever, and I'm throwing them in like balsamic or PowerPoint or whatever, I don't consider that tech yet. If I'm I'm just sharing pictures at that point.
That's tech.
Well, strictly speaking, pencils are a chemical creation, so that's tech.
Okay.
So
let's call the analog stuff low tech, and anything that's digital or electronic we'll call the high tech. How about that?
Yeah, I think when I would go to tech, what I consider tech is when I'm actually drawing things on a computer, not on paper or on a whiteboard. That's sometimes we do that right away because the audience, even the audience for testing and approving the storyboards, they don't want to see our handwritten notes. They want to see, a prototype button or, whatever one of these things you get from the templates, they want to see that right away. Other times we can get away with hand drawing things almost right up to the end when the animation everything's done.
So let me throw us in a completely different direction, and just throw in one more tool before we run out of time. I saw somebody up here mention iMovie, that they were using iMovie for doing a lot of training stuff. Who mentioned that? Was that Paul?
Etch-a-Sketch.
Somebody. I'm scrolling back, but I think it's way back there.
It was Paul.
Yeah.
All right.
Paul says it was him.
Cool. Yeah. So, what kind of stuff are you utilizing iMovie for right now? I know currently I use iMovie for just about everything I do with video. I have not made the leap into Final Cut Pro yet. I plan to at some point. Let's see. Tom Spiglanen is not here.
I've actually never used iMovie. I had a project that I needed to use Final Cut Pro for whatever reason, I don't remember. And ever since then, that's what I use. So I've never actually even launched iMovie.
Yeah, well, if you've got Final Cut Pro, there's really no sense to step down.
Well, no. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of things iMovie does a lot easier than Final Cut Pro does.
Yeah, I guess it is the difference between like writing in text edit versus Word. You know, so I guess it depends on what you're trying to do. I think the hardest thing for me using iMovie is when I want to try to do something a little bit more complicated with audio. Like let's say I extract some natural audio from a video clip. I want to lay down a voiceover track over that, but then I also have a music bed playing underneath it. iMovie can't do that. iMovie just has 2 audio tracks, and it's a little clunky. But I know most people probably don't take it that far with the audio. And I guess since those of us that do probably need to be jumping to Final Cut Pro, which I'll do soon, someday.
So Paul just answered, and actually I've got a parallel to what he said. All right,
let's get his in here first. Here's a paragraph for you. We just had a series of texts. This is for people who are watching the video later. We just had a series of texts getting refrigerant burns. We posted a video in about 10 minutes and 3 hours before a written response from our health and safety team. Oh, boom, Paul, nice job. That's a win for the training department. Yeah, thumbs up.
I was just going to say, Paul, was that I get like live? I'm going to say live action, for lack of a better term, like actually filming actual stuff, or was it screen grabs? Because I was going to say similar to that, screen grabs.
The dogs are out of control, so
Sorry, I'm sign languaging with Shannon while you're talking. She's trying to get the dogs to be quiet. If you're good at iMovie, skip Final Cut Pro X and go to Adobe Premiere. I use Final Cut Pro for everything because it's fast and I know it, but it's not all that great. Well, there you go. Now you're going to start a holy war, Sam. Adobe Premiere versus Final Cut Pro. It's the smackdown of the century. I'll log that for next week's Tech Tuesday conversation.
Log that in. But I think it goes back to what Paul just said. Now, there are definitely differences between the different video editors. In my case, when I'm doing workshops and I'm talking to other people who are just starting out, then I instruct them to go to iMovie, if they have tablets or, iPhones or whatever, because I'm trying to get them to use the video studio that's sitting in the palm of their hand. Take that quickie video, post it, and go help your workforce. And iMovie helps them do that in a more streamlined and simpler way, so anytime that we can do that, then that's of a benefit, rather than having to go back and do a whole editing process.
Yep, Paul, let me just throw in here before I forget. let's schedule some time to record that podcast interview, and I want you to tell that story. So like figure it all out chronologically in your head, maybe jot down all the important notes and at different points of it, and then I'll ask you some questions about it, and let's get that recorded, because I mean, seriously, that is some good case study stuff right there. And I love hearing that, because I talk about it all the time. But since I'm not actually on the front lines doing this stuff anymore, I know people are doing it. I hear it all the time. And it's always just, it's so what I'm looking for, comforting or confirming that people are actually doing it. And to hear cool stuff like that, which is those types of case studies, are exactly the reason why I preach what I preach about the power of video and in what we do, and how we need to address business problems and provide value immediately. And that we can, because the new tech today allows us and gives us the opportunity to do that more so than ever before. And so it changes the whole game. There's my daily rant. Done for today. All right, so we're at 8:55. We can just do a quick wrap up as today's Tech Tuesday. I got people calling me like crazy. I must be popular today. Let's see, we talked PowerPoint again. PowerPoint's always good to talk about. iMovie, there was something else in between there. We talked about whiteboards for Tech Tuesday. So low tech versus high tech, all good stuff. Anybody else have one last bit of tech before we start wrapping it up?
XAPI.
All right, I was hoping somebody would throw XAPI in there. We never talk about it enough.
No.
No, come on, it's important. I give you all sorts of grief about it, but you know what? If you weren't here, I would probably be looking around asking people to come in and talk about XAPI. So it's all good. It's all good. It is without question one of the biggest components of the future of what we do. So you know, it's definitely worth talking about. We need to mix it in with the rest of the conversation. So XAPI needs a once a week slot. Yes, it does, Sam, but I don't know what day to put that in. So anyways, all right, so XAPI is that final tech for the Tech Tuesday. So let's do a quick wrap up. Shannon, thank you so much for jumping into the lower left quadrant. Where can people find you?
They can find, sorry for the background noise, they can find me at learningrebels.com and on Twitter at stipton and on Facebook, Learning Rebels. So there you go.
Outstanding. Anthony.
I can be found anywhere a text editor is being abused.
.com.
No, I'm on the Twitters. Easily found on the Twitters.
You can find him on the Twitters. He's got his handle right up there, AA_Altieri. And hey, this was an excellent Tech Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. This was an outstanding crowd. I appreciate everybody hanging out and participating in the chat. It was lots of fun. So Tech Tuesday, tomorrow is the business of e-learning, the business of corporate training, with my brand new co-host for Wednesdays, Ajay Pingarkar. And then Thursday is still wide open. And Friday, we do Video Friday, as always, with our new co-host for Fridays, Sam Rogers, our in-house beatboxing musical genius. So my name is Brent Schlenker. I'm with litmus.com. You can read my blog at litmus.com/blog. You can find me at Litmus on Twitter, at bschlenker on Twitter. And see you tomorrow.